handy. Anybody out there not seen it or tried it?
I've tried it. I've never been able to get it to work.
It works for me.
Yeah, it works well. I mean, one piece of line you put on, and just with your finger right here on this like little anvil section, hold it. And then your second line you lay in the other direction. There's a little notch on the tip that can help you hold the line. So you get them both laid in here between those ears, hold the lines right on that anvil section. And then you can go right around it with your number of twists and pulls off. Well, you'd leave it on there and then you take your other line and go the other way. But having these dog ears to hold the lines in place and on that anvil really helps you trap both lines while you're wrapping them. And I'm sure some of you have probably seen or tried.
Oh, wow.
This one?
Yeah, I use that all the time.
What is it?
It's, again, it's a knot tying tool. We've got, again, this heavy line and a big hook. It's one that you take your line through the hook while you're out there, and then you simply put this, get before I can see it, in between it, and then you just take it however many turns you'd want. I won't do too many with this heavy one. And then if you see, when you pull it, it opens up the top and it has a little area there. You take that and you grab your tag end in there. And when you pull it back through, you've got your basic clinch knot.
That's cool.
So does that work with size flies or hook?
So, well, I mean, you do it with it very, very small. I mean, all you got to do is thread the end of your line through the hook to where it's looped up, stick it through, you know, a few wraps, grab that tag in and pull it back through. You know, it's just a matter of what you find comfortable. I use something else. And then the last thing I have, you know, for pulling out your dubbing and stuff, people do a lot of different things. And I simply handmade these, but I would caution somebody not to do it this way. These little things is from a strip that they use for like when you're rug hooking or whatever else. They're really quite sharp. And I discovered that they're so sharp that they cut your thread and everything else right loose besides pulling your dubbing out. So that's going to have to get replaced with just some of the typical, you know, hook Velcro or something else. This was way overboard. But if you ever need to cut something loose, that would be perfect because it does a heck of a job.
If it was longer, you could use it as a back scratcher.
Yeah, you know, I even made a small one for getting into the narrow places. But
well, that begs the question: does anybody use a 22 caliber bore brush for a dubbing brush?
That'd be good.
Oh, it does work.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Not the same, but kind of similar. But yeah, it has the more fine end on one side and then the big brush on the other, but it's steel. Yeah, it's.
I use a 22 gauge brush to clean out the ferrules on old bamboo rods.
Oh.
What I ended up using was a free ruler that someone gave. They were handing out, and I just put the Velcro on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was putting strips of Velcro on popsicle sticks. And that seems to work pretty good.
All right. Well, thanks, Roger. I knew you'd be good for some
popsicle stick with Velcro.
yeah.
It's about a quarter of a popsicle stick.
One of the other best gadgets is an extra one of these things. I discovered you get out there and fishing and all of a sudden one just comes loose in your hand because it's worn through. So every season I try and check them and keep a couple extra on hand because I've had, you know, when one goes, I looked at the others and I had 2 or 3 that were all right on the margins. So
Yeah.
I was kind of keep an extra one down in the bottom of my bag. So if I'm out there, I'm, you know, you get used to having one, keep your tools handy, and all of a sudden it's not there. But,
you know, you were talking about the daubing brush. I've been using what they have is for root canals. Is what they go in. It's a little bit, and I don't know where I have it right now.
I got to see this. I got to see it.
But I got dentists, and they gave me a few of them, and they work great.
But do you have
like
one?
the bristle, the dental floss ones that have the bristle in it? Is that what you're talking about, Walt?
No, I'm talking about what the dentist takes. When they do a root canal, they have this little tool that they just push down into the root
Yeah, the cavity, or whatever.
and they pull out the nerve. And
Oh, good. I'm getting chills.
I know. I was gonna say everybody just has the willies right now. We're good, Walt. You don't need to find it. We're good. We do not need to see it.
look,
All of us just looked at the postcard hanging above our heads of when we're delayed going to the dentist.
I am going to rob my dentist.
no nightmares tonight by dreaming of that. Yeah.
it was
I know.
once, Amy. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I figured when my kids all had to have their wisdom teeth taken out, it was the best squirt fights ever because you get those little syringes and you can shoot like around corners with them, the ones that you have to rinse out all the stitches with. But anyway, yeah, you guys don't want to know that. All right, so we're off of Walt's root canal. Who's up next, Mick?
I'm looking to see. Did we have Carl go yet?
Carl was redoing his tying room last time I saw a picture of him.
Clean it up so y'all wouldn't think I was messy.
You are messy.
It was like a disaster last week. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta clean this thing up. But I try to keep it fairly clean. All right.
I gave you guys enough notice last week.
You did.
Oh.
And it still wasn't
All
going
right.
to change to the last minute. So
Procrastinate. Okay, show us what you have, Hack.
all right, there's a few things here. One of the things that hasn't been brought up is, again, it goes back to me learning from an older gentleman way back when, 20, 30 years ago. I was in his little fly shop in his garage, and I said, there was this little piece of leather with a little plastic thing hanging up, and I was in college, so I didn't have a lot of money, and I'm cheap anyway. He said, if you, he said, if you want one of those, he goes, do you have any inner tube at your house? And I said, well, I don't think so. And he said, well, here, just a second. So he takes his razor blade out, walks back into the back of his garage from his shop, and comes up with this piece of inner tube. And so I've had this for probably 30 years. And a lot of times I'll, when you pull out your tippet and your line after you've had it rolled up for a week or two between fishing, pulling out and trying to get the curves out. And one of the things he said is that it just need a little friction. He said the rubber works really good with it, and you can just pull it down straight through. And I just do a couple times on it. And when I do that, it just straightens it all right out. So I know you guys can't see that 5X tippet right there, but basically just pull it on through. And, it's just something I've kept in my vest or my bag for a lot of years. And I never seem to lose it. It just seems to kind of stay there. I just pull it out and when I'm setting up and rigging up, and that's it.
When it breaks down, you put a patch on it?
No, I don't have the glue with me. Otherwise, I'd have it. If I had a hole in my waders, I could take it and patch it up there with some duct tape.
There you go. Emergency wader patch.
Yeah. So that's my one little, 2-cent gadget. Now, I got one of these things. I don't know what I spent on it. It was at a fly shop in Santa Fe called High Desert Angler. And I thought it looked like a really cool deal. So I just needed to spend some money. So it's got a magnet on it. And I was mentioning to the guy, I said, man, my eyes are getting old. And so what it is, and you can hook it. I took it off my vest, or my bag. It's got a little thing you can hook up there so you can pull it in and out. It's got a little magnet on it. It works great for these small flies because for whatever reason, God has told me my eyes don't work all that good anymore. So you put the little fly, and I put a size 10 Adams on here so you could see it. But it actually works remarkably well. It works really well if you take the glue out of your eye first before you do it, though. So, because I was doing a little test run here and I pulled this fly out and I go, why is it not working? Well, I had glue in my eye. So nothing more frustrating than getting out to the river and who made that fly? But you just slide it up in there and comes on through. Works better when you're not doing it on live TV. So
the pressures.
Yeah, there we go. Just slide it right through and boom.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I don't know what it's called. I don't know, but it's got a little magnet on it. But it works great for the little flies, especially. If you start putting like some 7X and you're tying a smaller fly on, works really, really cool. So anyway, those are my 2 gadgets. So.
And a new word to boot.
What, a gadget?
Yeah.
Gadget. Gadget and a widget combined.
Yeah, a gadget. I like that.
Hey, Amy?
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing that for the root canal.
Oh.
Let's see.
I'm not gonna close up on you.
Yeah.
It works quite well. I'm getting a small.
I can't see. You're off camera.
Go up again, Walt.
How do you do it? How do I get back? Okay. It works good if you just take and pull out small amounts.
Let's see. I can't see what you're doing.
Go over to your left, Walt.
Like your face.
Yeah. I just want to see the tool so I know what to steal.
Your other left, Walt.
Go.
I'm off.
How's that?
What happened?
Go the other way.
We
You're
can
just
see
your
broke.
fingers.
We can see your knuckles.
Well, the hell with it.
Wait.
No, keep it. There you go. Okay.
What is it?
It looks like it looks like the old kind of needles that went in a sewing machine.
No, it's not.
Which it got some sort of hook or something on it?
It's just
Go up higher, Walt.
Up higher.
Up towards your nose.
How's that?
Up a little bit. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep it still.
Now,
there you go. I can't really. Come on.
yeah, Bob's writing his list. He needs to know what to take from the dentist.
Yeah, steal is the word.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Take borrow.
Okay. All right. I'm on a mission.
Outstanding.
All
right. Thanks, Carl.
You're welcome. Well, that's all I had for tonight. So.
All right, Meg.
Let's see who else. John. Trying to save the best for last. Everyone oohed and out on his little aquarium. So
I know Les gets to go last because we'll all just be mesmerized and we won't be able to do anything else.
Like, do another one. Do another one. It's like,
Here's mine. It's really difficult to see.
Isn't even on the call.
I don't know if you can see that.
There you go.
Just a super magnet that I salvaged from places. And I use these by the gross.
Oh yeah.
And they're great for holding flies when I'm tying. The other thing I use, and I was going to show it tonight, but unfortunately I lost it out fishing today, is a Tie Right Junior.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, when I'm trying to tie a size 16 and 18 flies and it's 30 degrees outside, that sure does help.
Yeah. They work great. They make really good hackle pliers for little tiny midges too.
That's it, Roger. Yeah, same one. Yeah, I lost mine. Mine is someplace between here and Fontenelle Park.
Oh.
Hey,
Remember what I was saying about zingers getting worn out?
Yep.
I haven't worn mine out yet.
hey, Amy.
Yes.
Could we just go through everybody and tell us a little bit about them, where they live and what program they're in and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Because you're seeing some faces that you don't recognize, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yep. All right. So we'll start with Bob.
Bob.
Bob Bass. Why don't you
me.
make an introduction? Tell us how we found you.
Bus station? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
No, it was Bill Campbell, who has his fly tying marathon once a month, I think. I think he runs that about 4 hours, something like that. And I know I met you through that.
Yep.
Sure. I've regretted it. Okay. Bill Campbell is the regional coordinator for Virginia, Project Healing Waters. I'm a assistant program lead for the Fredericksburg Project Healing Waters, principal fly tyer and instructor, a guide, whatever else they want to hand to me, I'll get it done. We are sponsored by the Isaac Walton League, Rappahannock, Fredericksburg, Rappahannock chapter. It's a great partnership. It really is. So I've been doing working with Project Healing Waters in one capacity or another. I used to support the Fort Belvoir program. I guess it's been going on for 8 years or more. Before that, I was doing a lot of support to what is that organization? Now I'm having word retrieval.
Real Recovery.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Real Recovery.
Casting for
That's
Recovery.
for the men, isn't it? Yeah, that's for the men. Real Recovery. No, I did one for the ladies.
Yeah, Casting for Recovery.
Casting for Recovery, certainly. That the techniques that are used for that program easily transferred over to Project Healing Waters. I also am I'm retired Army, a combat vet. I worked primarily and for many, many years, about 27. I retired from civil service. I worked on the dark side of the force, is what they were telling me. Defense Intelligence Agency. And I just can't wait till we all get back to our activities. I really do. I'm going to add one more thing. When we do have a normal life, and that is resume being a docent for the National Museum of the United States Army, which is at Fort Belvoir. It just opened up. I opted to back off from that until I get all my shots. I got one down, one to go. and that'll probably happen in, I don't know, maybe April. Well, I'll get the shot at the end of the month, but I won't be joining the museum until probably April. And that's, it's quite a museum. I've seen the inside. We spent 6 weeks training for it. It's quite a production. If anybody has ever seen the Marine Corps Museum at Quantico, that's one of the most outstanding museums I've ever seen. That's worth going to as well. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
So where do you live?
Oh, actually, I have a Fredericksburg mailing address, but I live on the other side of the Rappahannock River in South Stafford.
What state?
Virginia.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Glad to have you here. And yes, we met through the marathon, and then Bob contacted, and we have such an active Monday night. And so he's been able to join us when I don't give him the wrong time zone. That East Coast time zone has me thrown a little bit. And who knew Tennessee was on 2 different time zones, or Florida, FYI. But anyway, Bob, great to have you here. Thank you. Charles, are you on mic at all? Can you hear us? I saw you.
Where's Charles? Where is Charles?
Unmute your mic, Charles.
Charles.
On the bottom left, you should see, if you scroll down, it should say mute.
There you go.
Oh, there's Charles.
Right. Look at you, Mr. High Tech. So Charles, where do you join us from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
I started out as a participant 4 years ago. I was very impressed with helping our veterans and helping myself, thanks to John Wright and his great tutelage. I managed to evolve in order to become the project lead here in Omaha. I've been very grateful for all the experiences that I had through Project Healing Waters, and looking forward definitely to get back to a normal life.
Outstanding. And I want you guys all to applaud Charles on our high tech week that we had last week. And and he's all connected, and we can all appreciate that frustration, but he's here in living color. So great job, Charles.
Amy, go look at the trip I planned out.
I saw it already, and actually I was going to bounce it back to you because you're going to Florida. And anyway, I actually, that made me laugh today. So because you set off every trigger on the computer. We'll talk about that tomorrow. but it was all good. It was all good. So we're having, from the program lead side of it, there's a little intense computer stuff going on right now, and Charles and I spent a little one-on-one time last week, and he got it and got connected. And so now their project right now, or test, is to set up some of these activities that are coming in phase 2. And yeah, Charles, I read it. In fact, I did a report today, and I went, where is Omaha going? Because I think you guys are going. Anyway, it was like an imaginary, it's a test. And so, yes, it's a trip to the Keys in Miami, which of course requires air travel and all the other things. We're not there yet, but it had multiple flags that went off. But it was a lot of fun because I knew Charles was on the system and working hard. So again, glad you joined us tonight, Charles. And what we try to do is kind of rotate either through flies. We're just goofing off. The last 2 weeks we were goofing off, showing off. And then tonight with the widgets, gadgets, and wadgets, or whatever Carl made up. Yeah, that word too. And so we've just been kind of hopping around and showing off the rooms. John Wright is on the call as well. So John, I'll call on you.
Hey, hi everybody.
Hi.
I'm down in my basement shop. I work with Charles. I'm the APL for operations for Omaha. Basically what that means is that I plan all the fishing trips for the vets down here. Take that off of Charles' back. I also do all the tournament planning, which, by the way, the Great Plains Bonefish Invitational Tournament is still alive and well. So those of you that have fished that, we're hoping to get that cranked up again this year. Yeah, Charles and I and the rest of the guys in Omaha, we can't wait to get things back together. We're looking forward to the one-on-one starting here pretty quick. I hope, Amy, right? First of April?
1st of April.
1st of April. Yeah. We've already got some folks lined up for some one-on-ones and taking them out to some lakes and around the area. I've started checking them all out. I was out at Fontenelle today and I picked up a rainbow and 2 sunfish. So on my brand new 12-foot Tenkara rods. So I'm a 22-year Air Force guy. So you probably saw my logo. That's the airplane that I flew when I was in. So that's it for me.
But is that an airplane you flew or a type you flew? I have one around here that's on a pedestal that I flew.
Well, the one that's set off at Air Force Base on the pedestal is one that I actually flew. The one that got out at the Academy, which is where that picture was taken, is a D model that's all painted up in ArcLight colors. And no, I did not fly that particular airframe. I did fly a D once, but it wasn't in Vietnam. I flew G's over there.
Fanny, thanks, John. All right, we got Mike Swanson on the call. Mike, where are you? He's got his camera off and his mic off, so I think he's eating pizza. Oh,
no, I'm back.
There he is.
All right. No, he's drinking his Chardonnay.
No, actually, I'm not. I did just finish supper. That's why I got in late. I called Mick. I'm the program lead for Leavenworth. It was a program that we restarted October 19.
Yep.
We're starting to work pretty decently out of the VA commissary and had plans to expand and start one-on-ones in the Leavenworth community, which has a fairly substantial veterans community. And with Fort Leavenworth, with their behavioral physiologist. And that was February, and came back from a trip down to see my folks in Texas in early March, just kind of running under the storm clouds, and screeched to a screeching halt. So we've been sitting on our hands cooling till the VA begins to open up. That's been kind of what's held us back. But now that we were getting into phase 2, one-on-ones, we'll explore trying to start some one-on-one meetings, particularly as the weather warms up, and look at some venues here locally. Fort Leavenworth itself is a little, again, as far as outsiders coming in, doing things like Project Healing Waters with the VA, is still kind of hands off, kind of everybody staying back yet. So we started though in October. I got on with Zoom on your guys' call mix, and I guess it was early fall, September, October last year, and picked Mixed Brain, and we started doing Zoom calls every Thursday at 7 o'clock with our program. I've got generally regular Mix shows up, 2 to 3 other, or 1 to 2 others, and I got a buddy out in Boise who likes to jump in. He's also a veteran. He's going to be a volunteer to the Boise program. He has completed his work, but we're chomping at the bit to get started and doing some things. First and foremost, get back to the VA with the inpatient program here at the Eisenhower Center, get that started up, and then we'll start working out from there as quickly as we can. Until then, it's a lot of time flies and taking advantage of some of these technological capabilities, which are phenomenal. They really are, and a lot of fun. And it's good to see folks and have people talk about fly fishing. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mike. All right. So, Terry, do you know everybody else on the call, or do we want to keep going?
Let's see.
We have Carl.
Yeah, I guess so.
We have Dad. He's on the call.
He's not sure he wants to admit knowing all of us.
I know. Well,
I really picked up.
That's on him. All right. Yeah, and I think, you know, and again, it's what's so amazing with all the technology side of it is people being able to cross state lines, cross program lines, jump on this, and there's things happening every single day, multiple times a day, as far as being able to, you know, get on if you're just looking for something. So we've gained quite a bit of presence in the world of virtual, which it's kind of fun. It won't go away. I'll tell you guys that. I almost felt like you guys were on a work call for a minute there. With phase 2, it is coming April 1st. The criteria on that, though, is that state participating in that has to be 5% or under on the Johns Hopkins rating. And so then we're able to do one-on-one outdoor activities. So there's going to be more.
What does that mean? 5% on the
5% rolling 7-day average on the Johns Hopkins tracker. That means 5% of the population or less.
It's an infection rate. It's the infection rate.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. By state.
I thought maybe he was a fly fisherman.
No, I wish.
He was.
Apparently, well, not very much. Not in our favor right now.
Caught the CC fly in Central America back around the late 1800s.
Ouch.
We're trying to get there. We've got St. Louis is actually one of the test programs that will also be running. So St. Louis will see COVID waivers coming out later this week to all volunteers and all participants. It's the same waiver process that we did. You check that email, you sign it, you know, you verify your signature. I'll walk all the St. Louis folks through that. We've also got 4 other test groups that are in that. And currently right now that's Atlanta, Parkersburg, West Virginia. We also have Indianapolis, and who else did I forget on there, Les? Somebody. So anyway, we have 4 that are in training. Go ahead, Mike.
Question: the CRM, you know, when this came out, the information you put out last month, are we on timeline for 12? I think it was on or about the 12th of March for the CRM training for phase 2 opening. Is that up or is it on track?
It is on track. We're 4 days early on that. We've been doing a bunch of testing. And so what happened is on Wednesday of last week, we sent out to all the Johnson City, Tennessee is the other group that I was drawing a blank on. And St. Louis and Pensacola are in weight programs. And again, so a couple different things happen, but basically this is where the registration for all the PLs, this is where the registration for all your participants and your volunteers comes into play with all the waivers. And then there's a process that happens behind the scenes. It is something where the COVID waiver gets signed and you're removing us from any liability to you as a volunteer, and then also to the organization. If somebody were to go out, get sick, and come back and say that they got COVID from a one-on-one outing. So it's our protection across the board. That testing went out to more than, well, for the central region, I sent out more than 500 emails on Wednesday and then verified all those signatures Thursday, Friday. Those people are all current. Again, the test was St. Louis and then also with Pensacola, Florida. They will be getting theirs by Thursday of this week to all the volunteers, and I'll walk Les through that. Mick Bretz is going to be our participant. So Les and Mick will set up an outing. They'll have to go through the whole process on that, be approved for everything, because again, there's so many different, I've sent out the emails. There's a PowerPoint on this. You can't go more than 100 miles. You can't cross state lines. We're getting way off track on this as far as what different questions for all of the organization across the board, across the country. April 1st is when we will be allowed to do one-on-one outings. Now, we already know we already have been meeting up and going to fishing, and I encourage you to keep doing that. Under the insurance for Project Healing Waters, April 1st, and all of those things will be like logged into the CRM. The waivers are in hand. if you just want to keep meeting up and going fishing, you're fine to do that. You don't have to jump through all these hoops and everything. I've seen as short as a 3-week period of time for phase 2, where meaning we could go to phase 3 as early as the last week of April. That's great news. Again, hopefully everybody kind of does this. That's the purpose of test markets. The test groups go from March 13th through March 28th, and then everyone goes live on April 1st. Again, the 5%. This doesn't mean just go out and start doing things. We'll definitely be walking leads through that. But if you want to meet up with somebody, we had folks that met up last week. We have people meeting up tomorrow. Go fish. You're allowed to go fish. You just don't log those hours, and it's just not under the umbrella. And then moving to phase 3 is 10 people. So that can be 2 volunteers and 8 participants. That can be 5 and 5. Again, we'll catch all of St. Louis kind of up on all of this. All you need to know right now is things are moving along at a rapid pace. Every day's been almost 4 hours worth of just meeting to make sure all of these systems read behind the scenes so that nobody has to worry about, do I have this? Do I not have it? So everything's been, knock on wood, going great.
So what about, what's this about? Can't go across state lines?
It is, unfortunately, that is one of the restrictions from our insurance company, and then also from our legal, from Ropes and Gray. And so for the Illinois folks, you guys could get together and fish, and you can cross state lines. You just wouldn't register that in the CRM. We're just not going to track that activity. You can cross lines whenever you want to cross state lines, but we just wouldn't register. We would not put you with Mick being a participant to set up an outing under phase 2 or phase 3. So again, you're able to do different things. It's the way we track it for your volunteer hours. But you're still obviously allowed to cross state lines and go fish anytime you want.
I get that part, but
yeah, just as
based on the participant and volunteers domicile. So it's like if Terry and I got together with a vet from in Illinois that was part of the program, then we could go wherever we wanted to fish. We could go to Missouri to fish.
100%.
Okay.
Yep. And the difference is because Terry's not active on the CRM and you're not on the CRM, Roger. So you guys could just meet up and go fish because you're doing that. We just wouldn't count your hours as volunteer hours. At the end of each quarter, we tally up every volunteer that's been on our Monday night classes, that's been on our Zoom classes, everything else that we've been doing. We tally everyone and we count those hours. So if you're meeting up with somebody, we just wouldn't count those hours and you wouldn't advertise it. You know, you wouldn't blast it out on Facebook of, hey, we got together and, you know, all those fun things. We're not technically meeting in that sense yet. But if you wanted to do an activity in Illinois and you wanted to meet up with somebody in the DOM, then you could let myself or Les know, and we can put that in and you two could go fish. And then you guys are getting credit for those hours. And the other part is you're covered under Project Healing Waters insurance.
Amy.
Yes.
If we've had our 2 shots, we have the paper.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nope. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a non-starter on a conversation. It might be down the road, but I think right now with the vaccination being so new out, and then also, you know, talks, I think when more of the population is, then maybe the insurance company would look at that and say, yes, that covers or that negates you from having. Either way, you'll have a hold harmless waiver for us.
So Roger or I could have a Illinois, what's the word I want? Participant, and Carl, and yep. But if we were going to do that, would we only be able to fish in Illinois, or could we go and fish in Missouri?
So pretend COVID was never here and there were never any restrictions like this. You could go fish wherever you want to as a citizen, right? So
Right.
if you wanted to arrange something and you want to drive and you want to go to Lane Springs, you can go fish anytime you want. The difference is, the difference is as far as like what the program looks like. So let's say Carl talks to Chris and he's in Missouri, Carl's in Illinois. Under our umbrella of insurance, Chris and Carl can't, under our name, go fish together. Now, as citizens, they can go fish wherever they want to.
I get that. So if Carl was a participant and I was a volunteer and I wanted to take Carl fishing, could I only fish with him under the program in Illinois, or could I do that in Missouri also?
Only Illinois and within 100 miles, unfortunately. And because, and where we're running into such issues of this is because and especially where Bob lives, you know, you can drive across the Potomac 3 times and you're in 3 different states.
Yep.
Where you run into that, where we're really having some lockdown is where states are even closer.
We wanted to come
right.
together. Wife got hers about like 3 days after me, so we could come on the 17th.
Sorry, Dave's on the call. Dave's on a call, I guess.
A few days later,
I'll find them.
So,
all right. So I will catch all you guys up. There will be an email coming out to the St. Louis area to kind of get you guys up to speed. Again, it's been going great. It's been a push because we have the central region, which covers 20 states and 75 active programs. And of that, we were able to get 4 that are basically the test groups and then 2 in weight. And from there, then what they come back with, the pros, the cons, the changes, the, you know, things duplicating, things like that, which I think we've been able to head off a lot of that. But April 1st is what we're shooting for. So perfect bluegill, crappie, some spring bass for you too, if you don't feel like going far.
Any idea when the VA is going to open up to us?
Not yet.
No, I've got a call on Friday with them because I'm now on the national board, and they're walking very much. We're almost step in step with all of that. You know, they just did a whole blast of vaccinations this Friday and Saturday, Sunday at JB and Cochrane. I think they're holding too, because again, you get in some of these and you have immune compromise. We can't be more careful than we're being right now. And you don't get a second chance to, you know, pull it back into the gate. Can you imagine if we all of a sudden started everything up and then said, oh, wait, oops, we were wrong. Now you can't see each other again. So we're taking it. The VA is very, very slow in same cautious, but they haven't even called back volunteers at all, with the exception of drivers.
What about the Soldier's Home?
I don't know. Probably, I mean, Ken House, Terry might know, but I don't know. There's no visitors. There's nothing unless you're a veteran and you need to go in for an appointment. We had issues getting our stuff. No, Kurt had to move our stuff over to a pod.
Soldier's Home off of 367. Now,
no idea.
Terry lives in Illinois, and he's the head of it. If we go in there and tie on a Thursday, is he going to be counted, or can he participate
in person is not until phase 4. And so in person, what I would estimate, and the earliest that I've seen is late August to early September, and that's on the best case scenario for in person. That means for Jefferson Barracks or for the Missouri Veterans Home, as far as in person. Now, what that'll look like for us going in, whether or not they require vaccinations, if we need to wear masks, gloves, you know, how do we do the social distancing part of it? So there's a lot of learning that has to happen as well. And then also what those facilities want to see from us as volunteers. So I'm glad. Luckily, that is not starting April 1st, as much as we want to get together. But we need some clear direction on that. So I imagine by phase 4, yes, Terry's going to be able to drive across the state lines to be able to come in and do Missouri Vets Home. All right, so you guys want to see my gadgets now that I had to do some work?
We have the coup de grace, the e-ticket. We got less still.
I was going to say, yeah, let's go to Les. He's more fun than seeing my hack stuff. Go, Les. You ready?
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh,
He probably dropped off. He got sick of me talking shop.
So, and so is John.
See, they got sick of me talking shop. See, that's what happens.
He said he'll show the fly tester next week.
All right. Well, so it looks like, and we're about, a couple minutes after. Why don't we save the second half? Whoever didn't get a show tonight, we'll just do that next week. It seemed to be a fun conversation. And I think this is kind of cool to be able to see around and see what your little tricks of the trade.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll be ready.
All right, all. Well, thanks.
Hey, hi.
She caught me yesterday. I didn't.
I got my trout yesterday. Hold on, I got to show you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Bob. Take care.
Yes, ma'am.
There she is.
Good night, Amy. Thank you.
There she is.
Hey, Marjorie.
Nice.
She was purple and green.
Very cool. Very cool.
I caught a bluegill. Yeah, he was this big. He couldn't get my indicator under. My indicator. I lifted up. It's like a little fish there.
I had the random. I got one trout, about 12 bluegill, and I had 2 largemouth bass, and one of them was this long. In fact, I pulled it up and I went, "What are you?" But it was the smallest largemouth bass I've ever seen. And then there was a young little 6th grader, and he was kind of following me around the lake. I was just up at Kirkwood yesterday, and finally he was like, "Well, how do you do this?" And so he had the open face thing, and so I actually hooked him up with the strike indicator and a little, I guess, a scud to get bluegill, and he was finally having a time. But he's gearing up, typical talking to a 6th grader. I couldn't figure out half the time what he was saying. But he was like, "Where do I find out how to do this? I want to tie flies now." I go, "YouTube." But man, what great weather. And I've heard rumors of a couple folks going to fish, so be careful, and we'll all gather together next week.
Somebody said Terry left just a few for the next time.
I guess.
Just the 1 or 2.
Just 1 or 2.
Good night, Amy. Thank you.
Some.
Hey, Amy, Don wants to get on this, but I didn't.
I know. I sent Don the link earlier. I sent it to him at 5:50.
So how do we practice him getting on here? How does he know if it works before the program?
So with his email, so the link that I sent him, that underlined part of it is this hyperlink, and he just clicks on that, and it'll prompt him through and ask if he wants to join the meeting. And so I'll send him an email, or if you talk to him, I mean, you can join it, so you can talk him through of how you join that. And he doesn't need anything more. He can do camera if he wants to, but he's better off if he can join from a computer. He tried a couple times early on to call in, and he can't see what's happening. And so he's not able to really be in the conversation.
You know, I've been talking, Bill Kelly and Don are coming over here tomorrow, and we're going to be tying flies together for.
So give them a little tutorial on your computer.
Yeah, but I have a place to go. It just goes in and says, do you want to go into the I'm already in the program. And what I click is just Zoom, and it goes right to you guys. I have nothing to.
Mick, are you able to set that up? I probably have time to, but I'm in Teams 90% of the time. Could you just send Walt, what time are they coming out?
I'll be gone though. I'll be at Bennett tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh, never mind. So, yeah. Admin.
Hey, Amy, they're coming out tomorrow. I have the Wednesday. I have an appointment. They're coming out Thursday too.
Okay. Let me do a little bit of work. I'll follow up with all three of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys all just fish tomorrow, and I'll figure it out, because I think I can also take some screen pictures that might help, that those guys know what to click on. But if you can show them on your computer, because you can pull up from the email that we send out, you can pull that up and then just show them how they can click on that link. Because that's the only thing they need to do. It's not going to go to a meeting. It's going to basically say there's no meeting, or the host needs to let you in, but it's never a dead link.
All right.
But if you can show them how to do that, and then I'll walk both of them through the rest of it later this week. Okay,
we got to get Ken House on this too.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. I feel validated by that comment.
I called Ken a Luddite one time, and he said, what? So I looked it up, and he said, wow, that's exactly what I am.
I describe Ken House whenever I have to explain where we are on the technology spectrum. And I said, no, we have an APL that has a flip phone, not the cool kind of flip phones.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, because now the flip phones, they open up and they look like a little mini screen. It's like a tablet. I said, no, he literally, he's like flips it open, but he can find everybody. And anyway, I give him a lot of credit for all of it, but this computer stuff, no, he's not liking any of it, but we'll get him on one of these calls. And the other thing is between that and recording the calls, making it available in our own little library. And I think that's the other thing too, is that then you can go watch it if you just want to see folks and be a part of it. So we're getting there. We're going to figure this thing out.
So we're going to do this every week until at least August, right?
Probably. I mean, unless Mick's not available, he's the one who has to let us all in the call. We're taking him on his generosity.
It's either me or Margie will put us in. So.
Yep. So there are official admin.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I have an open invitation. If anybody wants to come out to the quarry and fly fish.
When are you doing that?
I'm sorry?
When are you doing that?
I said I have an open invitation anytime.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You know, and if we get a bunch of people together, maybe we'll get some of those German beer cans to open up. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to go. Dinner time. I thank everybody, and we will see you guys on Monday. Everybody who's fishing tomorrow, be safe.
Yep.
And I'll look for your pictures and updates.
Everybody be well.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Mick, I'll give you a call in the morning when I get down there. I think I'll be heading out here about 6. So
I plan on trying to get out a little bit sooner, and my drive's only 2.5 hours. So I'm going to try to be on the road by 5:30 and try to or 7:38.
Normally I'm up walking the dog about 4:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock, get on with him. I just load my stuff in the truck and heading out. I was thinking 6 would be a little bit, but for me, it's 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah. You're an hour more. So
And
I'll be somewhere between the Hatchery Outlet and Whistle Bridge. So
I have no idea what's down there. All I've seen is pictures of some things online, and I will get down there and I'll give you a call.
Okay, that'll work.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
we want to go to Mom.
Good night.
Or we could work something out.
Oh yeah, we'll do something during the summer. This one was kind of impromptu, real quick. You know, I wish we could have something where you could go online and someone could say, or even on this, if we just call it out a couple weeks in advance and just say, hey, let's get together, you know, and we'll start planning a date. Maybe even do that. It's March. We want to start looking at April dates. I know April 17th at Bennett Springs is Veterans Day. So if you want to head out there.
Let's just say a veteran have to buy a tag that day.
Yeah, you don't have to buy a tag. And then that same area that I was just telling Mike where I'll meet him tomorrow, it's roped off, and the only people that could fish in that area is veterans. And they actually take some of the lunkers out of the big lunker trough and put them in there. So your chances of catching 5-pound fish jump up. So.
All right, I'll let you go.
All right, you take care, and we'll see you next Monday.
Yeah, okay.
Save some of that dynamite for me. I might need it if I don't catch it. Save some dynamite for me, so I'm not catching any.
Hey, you got my phone number?
No, I got a pen and paper ready, so go for
it. Yeah, my cell phone is 636.
Okay.
221.
321.
221.
Oh, 221.
1951.
1951. So 636-221-1951.
Yeah. And if you want us, you want us, like I said, you and your wife want to come out here. I don't have any. I have bass, bluegill, crappie, and in the koi. So
okay.
It's about an acre. The koi is about an acre, and it's the design is the west side of it is a natural limestone patio.
Oh wow!
You can actually fly fish out off of.
Very cool. So, do you have a smartphone? So, if I text you, my info, then you'll have my phone number as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll give you a quick text, and then you have my number as well.
Yeah, just go ahead and put your names down, and that way I know what it is, and I'll put it in my system. Okay.
Sounds good.
But we'll keep together. Like I said, you're up. You probably are close to bush wildlife, but I only got 50 feet to go to my quarry.
Yeah, the quarry is fine. We'll come visit you sometime.
We'll drink beer and barbecue some stuff.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is pick up the roadkill on the way down, and we'll barbecue it.
That sounds. We'll do it. Free meat.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, you take care.
All right. Bye bye.